sought the advice of the Attorney General, who subsequently recommended for the issue to be referred to the Police Criminal Investigations Department, CID, for criminal investigations.
We have details. Also, lawyers for embattled Asin North MP filed a notice of appeal in Cape Coast seeking to overturn its decision against him. We'll get an update and hear from the national chairman of the NDC as they embark on a tour of the constituency. Also, some students of the country's public universities worried strike by UTAC and Senior Staff Association will affect their impending examinations.
We are in our revision week preparing for exams. There's a lot of uncertainty as to whether or not our exams next week are going to come off.
It's very frustrating as a final year student.
And we are just left with a week to start our exams. Supervisor is on strike. How is he or she going to finish his or her project?
We hear from stranded students as the teachers begin a nationwide strike today, plus the Labour Commission, which has given the green lights for the industrial action.
You know, the commission is established to resolve labor disputes, so that is just what we are doing.
But you're not going to declare their strike illegal?
Oh, no, that is for the commission to determine. If it is illegal, declare. If it is legitimate, why not?
And in sports,
we'll hear from Ghana's semi-finalist in the boxing event, Samuel Techi, who is eager to become the country's first ever athlete to win gold at the ongoing Tokyo Olympic Games.
And later in showbiz, the queen of the airwaves, Doreen Ando, receives her honors.
As a child, I was a regular tomboy, and all of this was definitely not in my list of things to do, winning awards, etc. But today we're here. For more than a quarter of a century, no, I don't want to show my age.
We have more as she's awarded for being consistently on top of her game in the media at the just ended Glitz Africa Women of the Year honors. That and more on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Thanks for your company. This is your home of bold, credible and fearless journalism. This afternoon, investigations into the controversial Seglemi housing project have established consultancy services were awarded to 3 different companies for the same work done. In all, a total of $13 million were paid instead of the $5 million that was captured as consultancy fee under the original agreement. According to a document filed by the Attorney General in 2013, Architectural and Engineering Services Limited, AES Limited, which had the consultancy contract, outsourced its services to VHM for a period of 24 months. It also showed that later in April 2015, the Ministry of Works and Housing entered into another contract for consultancy services with Ridge Management Solutions, DEC LLL. That's an RMS company. Well, Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame further observed that the payments made were without any evidence of work done, contrary to the contract's requirement. My colleague Raymond Akwa, who is also the head of our research desk, joins me in studio with more on this. Raymond, first walk us through how we ended up paying $13 million to 3 companies for the same consultancy services.
So the documents filed in court by government suggest that on 15th of April 2013, the ESL signed a subcontract with VHM, that particular consultancy firm, under the same EPC, the first EPC agreement, to the company for $500,000 over a period of 24 months. This was the amount provided for under the same EPC agreement for consultancy services for the construction of the entire 5,000 housing units. But later on in April 2015, whilst the AESL and the VHM were still providing the consultancy services under the contract, the ministry entered into another contract for the consultancy services with Ridge Management Solutions, and represented by its director, a majority shareholder, who is also the 5th accused in this matter, that's Tete Angelo. Now, for a period of 3 months, at a contract sum of $5.6 million, let's not forget, the entire amount that was designated for consultancy was $500,000. Now, this was at a time RMS was not registered in Ghana as a company, according to the documents from the AG. This contract was completely outside the EPC agreement. This is also what the AG's document is saying. Investigations revealed that the 5th accused, who is also the majority shareholder of RMS, is also a director of VHM, the first body AESL did their subcontracting arrangement with. Now, moving on. In August 2016, the second accused, that's Dr. Kwaku Agyeman-Mensah, minister then, entered into yet another consultancy agreement with RMS, this time for what was referred to as marketing implementation services. for a sum of $2.5 million. Once again, the ministry was required to make an advance payment of 40% of the contract sum, like they did in all the previous engagements. All this while, AESL and VHM were purportedly performing the same consultancy services for the project. Their consultancy agreements having been extended at various times by both the second and third accused persons.
Well, so Raymond, we understand the scope of this project was also changed several times. What are the details?
So we know the very first one, on 9th of January 2013, the creditors, in this case, they disbursed an amount of 198 million, representing the 200 million fees and transaction expenses into the escrow account. Now, on 27th February 2013, an amount of 80 million, which represents 40% of the contract sum, was transferred to the grouping OAS as advance payment. The contractor, however, failed to apply the amount towards the purpose for which the payment was made. On 27th, a year later, just a year on the 27th of February 2014, the first accused, Collins Dowda, who had assumed office as the new minister for Water for Resources, Works and Housing, without any parliamentary approval, reviewed the original agreement and signed the first, a restated agreement with the same construction body, represented by its executive chairman, who is the fourth accused in this case. In the process, he changed the scope of works and the application of the 200 million approved by Parliament for the construction of 5,000 housing units, and now required the contractor to execute the project in 3 phases over a site of 1,272 acres, while the 200 million was now to be applied towards the execution of only the first phase of the project, which comprised just 1,502 housing units. Now, on 21st December 2016, weeks after the election, the third accused, former Chief Director, Alhaji Ziblim Yakubu, without recourse to Parliament, reviewed the first and restated agreement and signed the second and restated agreement. This led to a further reduction in the scope of works to 1,412 housing units from the 1,502 housing units, which was changed by Collins Dowda, as against the 5,000 original, and in this case, at a revised contract price of $181 million and extended the completion period of the contract to the 31st of July 2017 without any basis. This according to the AG's document.
Interesting. So you know that the number of housing units completed as well as the amount involved has always been an issue.
Yeah.
What does the AG's document say about the exact number?
So even though a total amount of 196 million has been spent on the Saglemi affordable housing project, with the contractor having been paid 179 million, investigations revealed that the cost of works executed on the site, including consultancy services, is about 64 million. Only 651 acres of land out of the 2,172 acres of land which was made available by the ministry to the contractor for the project has been developed. Investigations further revealed that only 668 housing units were completed by the contractor. These houses are, however, according to the statement, not habitable, and none under the project has been sold, and the facility remains unpaid, resulting in huge financial loss to the Republic of Ghana. This is what the document says.
Thank you very much, Raymond. There's more of that on myjoyonline.com, correct, Raymond?
Certainly so.
Okay. Well, speaking of the condition of the buildings, here's a report found by my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson in April when he visited the abandoned Saglemi housing project.
How dung littered on the dirty tarred roads is the first thing you see upon entering the abandoned site project, which sits on a 300-acre land. It's fast becoming a grazing field for cattle who feed on the wheat growing within the median of the buildings and its surroundings. Street lights, yet to be connected to the national grid, have been mounted in front of the buildings, and the drainage system is visible in between the tarred rows. The housing project comes in 2 categories: a 2-story building with 9 apartments each and another 2-bedroom self-contained apartment. The cream and ash painting on the buildings were fading, perhaps due to being exposed to the vagaries of the weather. Now, if you look at my right, for example, this is where it was expected that it would have the meters, and so each room or each apartment would be connected to a meter, which is going to give them electricity as well. Now, to my immediate left is the one of the apartment, and so I walk in. The doors are firmly fixed, fully tiled floor. We have all the connections with regards to electricity. And of course, you could see some of them having the bulbs as well.
So that's the state of the Seglemi housing project as of April, when my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson visited the site. Now, shortly after the report, Minister for Works and Housing, Francis Asenso-Boakye, revealed that an additional 32 million cedis is needed to complete that project.
The ministry tasked the Ghana Institution of Surveyors to conduct a cost and technical audit of the contract executed by the contractors in the context of the variety of agreements and commitments made by the parties to the project. Upon completion of the audit, the Ghana Institution of Surveyors estimated that an approximate amount of $32 million will be needed to complete the project. And in view of the absence of the critical primary infrastructure, the ministry sought the advice of the Attorney General, who subsequently recommended for the issue to be referred to the Police Criminal Investigations Department, CID, for criminal investigations into the matter. As recent as 18th March 2021, I have personally visited the project site and have acknowledged the urgent need to complete the project, notwithstanding the complexities of the project. Several ideas, scenarios, including dedicating a section of the housing units to some government agencies, including the Army, have been mooted.
That's the Minister for Works and Housing, Francis Asenso-Boakye there. Like I said, there's more of that developing Seglemi issue on myjoyonline.com. Now, lawyers for embattled Asin North MP have filed a notice of appeal in Cape Coast. According to the lawyers, the decision of the court was not based on settled laws and were in clear violation of the 1992 Constitution. They want the Court of Appeal to overturn the decision of the Cape Coast High Court. The NDC has also petitioned the Judicial Service to punish the registrar of the Cape Coast High Court and others who they say frustrated them when they wanted to file processes at the court last Tuesday. Richard Kojonyako is our man in court, and also he's been following this particular story for us, joins us live with details. Kojo, let's start off with the copy of the notice of appeal that you have. What are the specific requests the lawyers are making?
Well, Sir MFA, grounds of appeal, they say that the decision of the High Court was done per incurium. That means that it was not based on some sound law or settled law, and they indicate that Act 323 makes the determination of foreign law, in this case the Canadian law pertaining to owing allegiance to Canada, a question of fact to be proven by leading evidence, and the High Court did not allow for proof of foreign law in the determination of the issue of whether or not the appellant owed allegiance to a country other than Ghana. The second ground of appeal is that the High Court erred in law and acted out of jurisdiction by not referring the interpretation of Article 94(2)A of the 1992 Constitution to the Supreme Court, having regard to the different interpretations of the parties in the suit. Now, these are the declaratory reliefs they are seeking from the court. They are four. They want a declaration that the judgment of the High Court, Cape Coast, on the 28th of July 2021, to be void for having been issued out of jurisdiction. The second one, an order setting aside the judgment of the High Court, Cape Coast. And then the third one, an order setting aside the award, of course, against the Asin North MP in favor of the Asin North MP. And then the last one, court in favor of the appellant. We have been speaking with the national chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo.
To the constituency to engage with the party at the constituency level, and some of our regional executives are already there, and to assure them of the unflinching support of the party behind the MP, and to also remind them that the decision that they took in electing Honorable Kwesi as their Member of Parliament, of which our follow-up and monitoring indicates that the past 6 months that he has been in Parliament, he's lived up to expectation, and the people are very happy about the work that he has done so far. And to go and assure them that together with the constituents and those who voted for him, we will move and support him to ensure that justice is not denied the people, and that the vote and the confidence that they repose in him will not be dashed by anybody through any machination. So we are going there, and the party wants to send a very clear signal that both legally and politically we fight this battle to its logical conclusion.
That's the chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofuswampo, for that. Take you to Parliament now. We'll check what the situation is, especially with the Asin North MP, because the court directed that he should stop holding himself as the MP for the area. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us on the phone. Joseph, what are we picking up? Has the Speaker officially been informed about this? Have you cited the Asin North MP?
The last time we cited the Asin North MP was the day that the judgment itself was actually delivered by the Cape Coast High Court. Since then, he's not been spotted around. It's unclear as to whether an official communication has actually reached the Speaker of Parliament yet. From what we are gathering, this is something that one way or the other, it has to be the Electoral Commission that would go ahead and provide that information. Because then, from the clarification we're getting, when all members of Parliament were elected and before 7 January 2021, what happened was that it was the Electoral Commission that officially communicated to Parliament who MPs are. And so if any communication has to come to Parliament on the vacation of that seat, that is something that after the Electoral Commission is seized with adequate information as far as the said vacation of the seat is concerned, it has to be the EC that officially has to communicate that to Parliament and not necessarily the court. And from what we're gathering, those processes haven't unfolded yet.
Okay, just before I let you off, Joseph, we're also expecting the first reading of the anti-LGBTQ bill. What's the status of it?
That's likely to be done any moment from now. It's actually catalogued on the other paper for today as item 9B. That's to be presented by the 8 MPs who are championing it. And so any moment from now, that's supposed to be happening. Thus far, there's been the presentation of a request to allow for the GNPC to actually get more stake in Exploco, which is their subsidiary firm, and a loan to the tune of $1.65 billion to allow for that. That's been laid. And then another agreement, something in the region of 111 million Ghana cedis, that will be used to purchase 6 aircraft for the Ghana Armed Forces. Those documents have been laid, and we're expecting that any moment from now, the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill 2021 will also be laid here in Parliament.
That's parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo certainly following that for you here on Joy 99.7 FM. I'll take you back to the staples of the NDC, where the former Deputy General Secretary Kokoa Nyidoho has challenged his expulsion from the party. He's written a letter in the last few hours to the party's national chairman. Kwesi Parker-Wilson has a copy of that letter. Kwesi, what does it say?
This letter is coming from his office and is addressed to the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiudin Katia. Now, Koku begins by saying that he's a registered member of the party at the Tayingbe Etue branch that is in the whole central constituency. And to quote him verbatim, he says, "I have been a loyal member of the NDC and continue to be since the formation of the party in 1992. I have never infringed the constitution of the party. But I have never infringed the constitution of the party. I do not have any history of indiscipline per the records of the party. Without serving me with any document you have, per your voice and body language, made so many disparaging comments about my supposed expulsion from the NDC, and gone further to make incendiary remarks about my working relationship with the late President Atamil." So this is a letter indicating that the party hasn't served him with any official letter of his expulsion. And so he is writing to the party to acknowledge the fact that, well, he said about the comment being made about him, and yet waiting patiently for the letter to be said.
Kwesi Parker-Wilson, thank you very much. That's the letter written by Kokoa Nyidoho to the leadership of the party. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. And the strike, let's talk about the strike that the UTAC strike today, and we know that it will cause a delay in the end of year examination. That's the worry being expressed by some students of the country's public universities as the University Teachers Association of Ghana and the Senior Staff Association embark on a nationwide strike today. The two unions, in separate demands, want government to address issues of their deteriorating conditions of service, while UTAC wants the implementation of a 2012 single spine package, which puts entry-level lecturers on a salary of $2,084. The senior staffers are demanding the computation and release of their Tier 2 pensions in arrears. We'll take you live to the campuses shortly. First, though, here's National Secretary of UTAG, Dr. Eric Abavary, saying lecturers won't return to work until their demands are met.
We have 3 key services that we provide to the university. We have teaching, we have research, and we have service to community. And so we are withdrawing only the teaching. The other 2 we will be doing according accordingly.
A government statement that we have cited indicates that government met with your members. What was the outcome and why are you taking this action if a number of issues have been agreed by both parties at such a meeting?
Those agreements were just the peripheral. The peripheral here means that there were issues to partially address, do not constitute the core of our concern. And the core of our concern got to do with the restoration of our emolument or our salaries.
Well, Joy News checks in some major public universities across the country review academic activities have grounded to a halt. We'll start from here in Accra, where my colleague Manuel Kranting has just returned from the University of Ghana. His alma mater, of course. Manuel, what did you observe when you went to the university?
So, my father, University of Ghana, it's double jeopardy because this strike by UTAG is coinciding with another strike by the Senior Staff Association of the Universities of Ghana. The students are saying that this is really going to affect their exams. We can listen to them.
It's very frustrating as a final year student. I have quite a number of stuff to do, long essays, project work and all that. And we haven't just 3 weeks to the end of our stay on campus, but we don't have any lecturer at this point in time to help us with our supervision and all that. So it's very frustrating and very disturbing at this.
I'm a third year medical student, Kolebu campus. I came here and the workers, the senior staff are on strike. And it's quite, in addition to the UTAG going on strike, has a really bad impact on us because we are in our revision week preparing for exams. There's a lot of uncertainty as to whether or not our exams next week are going to come off.
Some students of the University of Ghana campus that take you to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi, from where my colleague Nanaya Ojima joins us on the line. Nanaya, what's the situation there? Is it any different?
Moving through the KNUST campus in Kumasi, many of the classrooms, even though are open, they were empty, no lecturers to take students through the academic activities. Now, according to some of the students who were not aware of the strike, they came to class to hoping that their lecturers would be in class to take them through revision ahead of their examination, which comes off next week.
In the letter issue, they've stated that they weren't going to do anything pertaining to academics, not even exams. And we are just left with a week to start our exams. And also a final year student whose supervisor is on strike. How is he or she going to finish his or her project?
It's going to have a hit on us because how are we going to be graded? I'm a third year student. And imagine this happening. Am I going to go to fourth year?
Students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Now, AC Brew is a Joy News contributor, and she's been monitoring the situation at the University of Mines and Technology at Takwa in the Western region. AC, paint a picture to us about the situation.
Yeah, so this morning, most of the students were at the lecture halls, waited for some hours, and the lecturers were not coming, though they were on campus. And what I gathered later was that they were on strike, so they are not coming to the lecture halls. And the UTAG secretary confirmed to me that examination has been suspended. And some of the final year students are actually disappointed because they prepared for the exam and they were waiting for vigilators to come, but there was nothing. So academic activity has been halted at UBAT.
Okay, thank you very much. That's AC Brew from the University of Mines and Technology at Takwa in the Western region. Meanwhile, the National Labour Commission says the strike by the teachers and senior staff is not illegal. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Ofosu Asamoah, spoke to Israel Eye on the AM show earlier.
You know, the commission is established to resolve labor disputes and promote good labor relations. So that is just what we are going to do.
But you're not going to declare their strike illegal?
Oh, no, that is for the commission to determine. If it is illegal, it declares. If it is legitimate, why not? But the most important thing, we always urge parties to negotiate in good faith. And when it comes to work, the commission goes into the other part, that is the district resolution, by settling the matter in some form of way. So, yes.
So from my understanding, the commission is going to meet today to determine the way forward. Is that it?
There's going to be an informal to determine when to invite them.
All right.
With the issues to be settled. So by close of all the parties is there for them.
That's the Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission, Ofosu Asamoah there. Meanwhile, government earlier released a statement indicating that the issues with the workers is being resolved. This is the Midday News. Our top stories have been talking about the investigations into the controversial Saglemi housing project, which reveals that consultancy services were awarded to 3 different companies for the same work done, costing the state $13 million than the $5 million captured as consultancy fees under the original agreement. When we return from the break, we have sports, and then later in showbiz, the queen of the airwaves, Doreen Ando, receives her honors.
As a child, I was a regular tomboy, and all of this was definitely not in my list of things to do, winning awards, etc. But today we're here. For more than a quarter of a century, no, I don't want to show my age.
The boys are back, oh! The boys are back! Imagine inviting great footballers like Ronaldo, Messi, and Mbappe into your home. Imagine feeling the big mad temperament of football's fiercest rivals in your living room. Imagine enjoying the home ground advantage of witnessing the best of Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, UEFA Europa, and many more leagues all in English. Or stop imagining. Just get a GoTV decoder now at 89 Ghana cedis and upgrade to GoTV Max to turn your home into the home ground of great football. To purchase a new decoder, SMS GoTV to short code 1731. GoTV. Love it.
Drama from day one.
Thanks so much for your company here on the Midday News. It's time for sports. Mubarak, what do we have?
Yes, MF now. Ghanaian boxer Samuel Techi is not satisfied with winning bronze but wants to go all the way for a gold medal at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Techi defeated David Avila of Colombia in the men's featherweight division, which propelled him to the semis of the event. He is now guaranteed at least a bronze medal, which would be Ghana's first at the Games since the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona, and the first individual medal since boxer Prince Amate won bronze in 1972. But Techi, who is 20 years, is not getting carried away.
I'm happy, but not too much happy because the competition have not ended. And I've already told Ghanaians I'm going to bring a good medal, and God have let me enter into the medal zone. So what I'll tell them is they should keep on praying for me. And you know, I'm in semi-final now, so they should keep on praying for me. I'm going to make it there and go to the final, and we'll look what God will do. But they should keep on also supporting me, pray for me, and I'll bring the good in Ghana.
Samuel Techi will have to beat American boxer Duke Reagan in tomorrow's semis to stand a chance of winning the gold medal. The bout comes off at 2:30 a.m. MF, don't sleep.
I won't. I'll be awake for that. Thank you very much, Mubarak. Now, 541 new cases have been recorded since the last update of Ghana's COVID-19 situation. Our active cases now stand at 5,524 with 13 more deaths. More worrying is the country's health facilities' inability to handle these numbers due to the surge. Head of our health desk, Fred Smith, joins me in studio. Fred, how bad are our cases looking comparing previous update to current figures?
Well, Mefa, let me start from the current situation with the platform where the COVID updates are shared. It has been down. What we've always known, the GhanaHealthService.org/COVID-19 has been down. The content has been moved now to ghs.gov.gh/COVID-19. That's where you get all that information. And so what I'm bringing to you is from that platform. Exactly a month ago, our active cases were 1,602 MFA, and compared to the latest update, our active cases have increased by nearly 4,000. A combination of factors here, increasing new cases, and the other is the duration for recovery. Due to the Delta variant, we've been told by the case management team that persons who contract the virus take longer now to recover. And so some of them are also dying as a result of that. We are comparing the deaths, MFA. We had 796 a month ago. Compare that to what we have now. The death toll from COVID-19 in Ghana has increased to 836, which means 40 people have succumbed to the virus in just 1 month.
Okay.
Last month, we had 19 severe cases. We now have 86 and critical cases. 9 a month ago, we now have 17 persons whose COVID situation is being described by the Ghana Health Service as critical, and it explains why.
Well, you have to continue to adhere to the protocols. Thank you very much, Fred Smith. We know that the Ghana Health Service has also denied allegations of poor COVID-19 testing among passengers at the airport, saying such viral complaints are erroneous. It's time for showbiz, and of course, today we're celebrating the queen of the airwaves with over 20 years of radio experience. It just once again showed us why she's on that throne. Host of the Cosmopolitan Mix, Doreen Ando, was honored for her excellence in media at the just ended Glitz Africa Awards.
We thank God for his blessings, and I also thank God for the gift of the talents that I have to do my work daily. To my work colleagues, some of them are here tonight, I definitely want to say a very big thank you. They always supported behind the scenes and made sure that everything was done and done right. I also want to say a very big thank you to the Glitz Africa team, because they have worked hard to make sure all of this comes to us every year. And honoring women every year is definitely something that we need to congratulate them for. I'm deeply honored with all of this, and I also like to thank all of those who have encouraged me in the background, my friends. Some of them are here this evening. Some of them I don't see, but I only come across by email or text or tweets, and I know they are listening and I can't see them, but I have made a whole family of friends along the way in the past 26 years. As a child, I was a regular tomboy, and all of this was definitely not in my list of things to do, winning awards, etc. But today we're here. For more than a quarter of a century, no, I don't want to show my age.
More reasons why she is and continues to be the queen of the airwaves. Other honorees include Abna Osei-Poku, MD, APSA Ghana, for corporate personality, lifetime achievement, her ladyship, Georgina Theodora Wood, former Chief Justice, excellence in music, Becca, and excellence in film, Akofa Ejiani Esiedu, among others. And that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We have Living Word with Pastor Mensel Tobil coming up next as we prepare for greater works this week, learning excellence through pressure. Have a good afternoon.
Hello, please, am I speaking to Miss Joanna Kuma?
Yes, please.
My name is Philip and I'm calling from MTN. Someone has just sent you money and we will need you to enter your PIN number so that we can put the money in your account.
Hey,
oh dada, MTN will never ask you for your PIN. Never reveal your PIN to anyone under any